Hey guys, John here. Today on the show, I have someone by the name of Lee Martin. He's actually on the show today to talk about a forum that he's created and CPA marketing. It's called CPA Leads. Welcome to the show, Lee.
Hi there. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. So, do you want to talk a little bit about how you got started in internet marketing? How you got started with
Yeah.
this forum?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if we're talking about the forum primarily, the forum's based on CPA, which is cost per action. So it's CPA marketing. The way it works is that you've got networks that pretty much have the offers for, the likes of McDonald's and even bigger, and they've got an offer. And what they will do is they will recruit affiliates to the networks who will then in turn promote those offers and get paid by the network. Going back about a year ago, when I first started up CPA Leads, I kind of did it because I realized that there wasn't any other standalone forums primarily focused on literally in CPA marketing, incentive marketing, that is. So I decided to open up the forum and pretty much see how it went. And it's kind of gone from, strength to strength really, because it's now got 31,396 members, and, which isn't
Wow.
bad for a year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the trick for me really is because I realised that I was going to have the original, like I say, standalone incentive CPA marketing forum. I knew I could incorporate the non-incentive with the incentive, but I had the upper hand because obviously it was the first incentive one. So I contacted the biggest networks such as AdWork Media, CPA Grip, Accent Media, etc. CPA lead. And what I did was I pretty much come up with a really good idea, which kind of like made me, well, made CPA leads what it is. And I offered them a free private group on the forum in exchange that they direct link back to CPA Elites to their actual group. So for them, it was like a win-win situation because I'm getting their traffic, but they're getting mine, right? And it's kind of like I'm teaching the guys that they're sending to me. I'm teaching them how to make their money. So it's a win-win situation. So we exchange traffic, and yeah, since then it's just been going strong. It's getting thousands of new users on a monthly basis. The content's great. Traffic diversity, I'm pretty good at. I can, generate traffic from different verticals, and it's just really exploding.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I know, I guess from looking around, I mean, I know there's other internet marketing forums. Like, I'm sure I could
yeah.
go to, like, the popular Warrior forum and
Well,
find
this is
on
it. Yeah.
CPA
I mean, you
marketing.
got a lot of these guys that, I mean, those kind of forums there have got bigger scopes. They're a bit broader. So
Yeah,
obviously they've got, primarily like internet marketing as the main subject, and then they stick in the sub forums. I mean, there are I think there's like one or two other CPA marketing forums out there. I knew of one of them when I started up CPA Elite, but I knew that it at the time was primarily focused on non-incentive, which is why I saw a gap and I jumped on it, which basically gives me the bragging rights, to kind of say, well, look, we are the original CPA marketing forum in relation to incentive, but at the same time, yeah, we offer the non-incentive scope as well because to give you an example, like one or two of the networks that advertise with us or direct link back to us, their traffic is like non-incentive. And I realized at the time that I need to sort of like focus on that as well. So what I did was I actually made, if you look, you can see the Elites Network Compliant Discussion section, meaning pretty much everything inside there is kind of like not all non-incentive, but mostly non-incentive, and it's compliant with the networks that would rather you didn't drive the incentive traffic.
right. Yeah, I see you have like a
Yeah.
whole private subsection here with VIP
Yeah.
access.
Oh, yeah, and VIP access. Yeah, I mean, that's done pretty well. It's become really popular. I pretty much add a lot of my own private guides in there, which is found in the actual Legends Best kept secrets. But what I do as well, I made an award, and I basically it enables the users to add content in there. In exchange, they get an award added to their profiles for it, which is like a unique award. I mean, we got on the forum itself, we have a bunch of unique awards. All custom made. I hired out a graphics guy that I've got working for me. So they're all custom, etc. So I don't know how to copy.
Right, right. Yeah, it sounds like you got quite the setup here. I really like the layout and everything of the
Yeah,
forum.
thanks. I mean, it gets like a bit of slack sometimes, because it's black and stuff like that. I mean, I have heard people say sometimes, "Hey, what is it? Is it a hacking forum?" And I'm like, "Well, no, if it's anything but. It only takes 30 seconds to actually take a look at it to realise what it's all about, anyway." Um, it is what it is, right? I mean, it's a private run company. I decided to turn it into a private limited company last year
Yep.
because I figured that it's going to give it more power behind the punch, if I need it and stuff like that. And I think it's probably the smartest move that I ever did, to be honest with you, was turn it into a company.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that's something
yeah.
I actually recently ventured into. I've been making a little. I was making a little bit of money with a SEO service on the side, and I figured for mostly for tax purposes, it would have been better to turn it into a LLC.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got my own accountant as well, who's just up the road from me. So if I get any sort of problems or anything like that, he deals with them. But he also deals with like all my end of year taxes. But I kind of deal with most of my monthly taxes between myself and the partner as well. So that gets dealt with. But it's always good to have that bit of power behind you as well, in regards to any issues or discrepancies that you sort of can turn around. It just helps out in the long run, right? But
Sure.
but the forum itself, I mean, it's doing really well. I've made it very unique because, I mean, if you go down on the forum, you'll see that I've kind of it's an original. It's original and it's unique in the way that I've added, like, you'll probably notice, like Elite's help desk, or Elite's online journeys, Elite bragging. And these really do kind of make CPA Elites what they are, because the help desk is fantastic, because it does it. You get a lot of people come to the forum that don't know diddly squat about CPA marketing, let alone making money online. We've got such a good community that like to help out all the other users. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on an interview with you. I mean, anyone that goes to the forum for 20 seconds can see that themselves. But
Yeah.
it's just a really good speaking point of the forum, the fact that the community love to help out the community. It's not all about them. It's about them helping out other people that are new to the forum as well. And that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's tons of activity in just about any thread here. I noticed there's just
Yeah,
lots of information being
I
shared.
mean, the content's great. I mean, statistics. I mean, put things into perspective as of today. So let's have a look. We've got 261,866 posts. Threads, we've got 22,780. And yeah, the members again going back 31,398. And it's just growing, by the day. It just gets bigger and bigger. I mean, generally speaking, when you've had a forum around for about a year, they kind of slow down after a while in regards to content. But with CPA Elites, it's been anything but. It's kind of like, the older it gets, it's kind of like the bigger it gets in content and member base as well, which is just phenomenal, really.
Right, right.
So,
I
yeah,
thought
it's
I'd,
good.
I guess I thought I'd ask too, just in general. I know we've been kind of
Sure.
talking about the
Yeah, yeah, go
forum,
for it.
but just from the standpoint of CPA marketing,
Yeah,
I've done a little bit with it, not enough to really earn any
sure.
significant amount of money. I mean, I think at one point I was able to get somebody through a forum to like sign up through a lead page.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you want to
I
talk a
mean,
little bit about,
yeah,
I mean,
sure,
obviously
sure,
there's a
sure, sure.
whole like world I know in terms of getting approved for these networks. That's
Yeah, there's a big scope. I mean, I started out with the networks. Actually, I was actually a CPA marketer myself. using the networks a lot more so than I am now. And when I started out, generally speaking, I would go down the PPD, which is the pay per download networks, because they're kind of like auto approve. And I started from the ground up. And I kind of worked my way up in those networks, and I went from earning like, I think it was like the least I earned in a day, I think, was $5 when I was starting out, and then I kind of grew in, I'd probably say, the space of about 6 to 8 months, and kind of people started knowing my name around the networks, and yeah, I kind of went up to, I think the most I $7,000 or $8,000 I was making on the networks, like on a monthly basis. So going by my name kind of thing. Quite a lot of people know who I am in regards to being a top earner, or should we say a legendary earner.
Sure.
And I kind of progressed from the PPD networks over to CPA networks, because I knew that the offers sometimes could be better, pay out a bit more, etc. And yeah, just a bit more of a diversity, really, and a bit more of a wider range on what you can do and what you can't do and stuff like that. But CPA marketing's fantastic because it enables you to work from home. It's really not as difficult as a lot of people think it is. You really can make a lot of money if you do it right, and that's kind of, I guess, where my forum comes into play, because you can learn it for free.
Right. I mean, obviously I know there's probably hundreds of ways you could read about making money. I mean, I'm just looking at the
Mm.
forum and I'm seeing people here talk about, making money with pay per download and Yahoo Answers, for example.
Yeah,
Um,
there's. I mean, going back to the incentive for the non-incentive, just to clear things up. So, primarily CPA Leads is like focused on the sort of incentive traffic, meaning that if let's say like you write an ebook and somebody wants your ebook, okay,
yep.
basically, they have to fill out an offer to get your ebook, which is incentive. But non-incentive is kind of like, say, example, you're sending somebody to something, they can just literally access the offer, the content straight away. Because the problem is that some networks don't like incentive, because you've got like some networks that don't mind if you use, as an example, like a game cheat generator, or some type of sort of application,
hmm
and then the other networks do. So you got your kind of like your black hat incentive. Not all of it's black hat, and it's not black hat as in illegal. It's just black hat as in you're allowed to do certain things, as opposed to other networks that won't allow you. I hope
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like incentive, non-incentive. But they are completely far apart. It's like you could make a blog today, and you could basically, on your blog, you could like offer sort of recipes for whatever diets and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And that's kind of like the white hat. Or you got your black hat. It could be like, I don't know, Microsoft code generator. That's completely the opposite, right? So that's kind of the difference, what you're looking at, really, between the incentive and the non-incentive.
So in terms of, I guess I don't know if you'd mind sharing like anything specific, like just some general ways that you've been able to get, traffic to some of these
Traffic
networks.
to the forum, or just using the actual CPA
Well,
marketing
I figure
itself?
more for CPA. I mean, I know, like personally, I
Yeah,
read through on the Warrior Forum. They
sure.
have one of the private forums, the War Room, and I read
Yeah,
through.
yeah, yeah.
Someone shared like a CPA marketing guide, and I went through it, and it was basically, they explain this method where, say, you go out on YouTube, you have somebody on
Yeah,
Fiverr
that was
create.
probably my guide.
Yeah, you create like you have some guy in Fiverr make a video for you that's really like
Yeah,
enticing people to sign up for some offer, maybe like
yeah.
a gift card of some kind or a free iPod.
YouTube at the moment is not as good as it was. I'll break it down. Basically, when I started using CPA marketing, what I would do is rank YouTube videos. I'm pretty advanced with like SEO software and stuff like that.
hmm
Have you heard of the GSA search engine ranker tool. Have you heard of that at all?
Yeah, I've used a
Yeah.
demo of it long ago.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty advanced with that. I know the best settings and stuff like that. So what I used to do was I used to just buy into a dedicated server with a good RAM and memory. I would use a capacitor breaker, which would solve the capacitors when you're actually going out and building the backlinks.
Sure.
Configure the settings on the tool correctly. And then what I would do is I would basically make a YouTube video, and then I would pretty much talk over it myself, and then whatever niche I've got on there, make it look decent enough, enticing, etc. And then what I used to do is I used to basically just build backlinks on top of the video. And going back about a year ago, I would be able to take a big niche, and I would be able to just rank up a video within about, I'm not joking, probably about a day or two.
Wow.
Because, what I used to build backlinks on top of backlinks, because, at the time that was what worked the most. But now, right now, it's like YouTube has changed a little bit. And in fact, if you used to go through my forum and check out the social media and or just search around, you'll see that a lot of people are sort of questioning whether it's even worth it and stuff like that. I mean, I try and explain to them that it is. I mean, if you look in the private section, the VIP section of the forum, you've got a lot of guides that I've shared in there, which are like going on about the YouTube ranking and stuff like that. I've pretty much given the best settings to use and stuff. So sometimes you've got to think outside the box. Moving on from YouTube, you've got your SEO itself. But again, SEO, I mean, that's just changing. That's up and down. You got Facebook. Facebook's, become more difficult these days, but not impossible. The same as YouTube's not impossible either. It's just all about implementing good on-page and off-page SEO.
Yep.
But besides that, yeah, I mean, those are kind of like, the social media, the YouTube, like the SEO. They're kind of like the main ways of getting traffic with anything, really.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I know I've read a lot about using fan pages and things like that to
Yeah,
drive traffic to offers, and I've seen, I think I once was browsing and I liked, say, like a Mila Kunis Facebook fan page. It was just like, someone would post these photos of her, and then all of a sudden they throw out like
yeah,
a dating offer, which is like a ClickBank offer,
yeah.
and they get you into the, at the time I had never seen it, but it's like one of the most popular dating. I think it was one of the most popular dating offers on ClickBank.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm sure like the conversions are crazy because they just have this huge raving fan base of Mila Kunis fans.
At the moment, there's actually something else which is kind of starting to explode, but I'm just not quite sure about it yet. But you've got something called PPI, which is pay per install. And
Hmm.
the way that works is that the network basically will have like maybe a toolbar extension for your browser, or it could be like a free antivirus or whatever.
Sure.
And instead of like the affiliate sort of content locking a page whereby, to access it, you get the widget pop up. Instead of that, it'll be kind of like, download this file. And when you download that, basically the affiliate gets paid and then the person gets the freebie, but they also access the content. So that's something else right now that's kind of taken off, which is obviously related to CPA as well, which might be something that I introduced to the actual forum as well. I'm just at the moment kind of researching around the whole subject because I've heard a few things that some of the PPI network, the actual files and stuff, they flag up as viruses and stuff. And
Right.
that's definitely not something that I want to be linked back to my forum at all. Because I like to keep it clean. I restrict a lot of stuff on the forum in regards to spam. I've got a lot of stuff working on in the background that's been custom coded. I've got like an admin developer guy that I pay a monthly salary to that basically helps me out. He codes me or recodes me plugins. So there's a lot of stuff working in the background on the forum because I like to keep it clean. I don't like spam. I don't like discussions related to hacking or anything like that. Generally speaking, I mean, if you use a type in hack on my forum anyway, it gets replaced. The A gets replaced with an @ sign for your email.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I know this kind of like I don't want to say like I feel like a lot of like the people that might be doing some of these kinds of things when it comes to CPA, you're gonna kind of attract some people from that sort of crowd, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, not just that, but it's like, I don't know what it is. I've got such a passion about the forum. I mean, a bit about me, I guess, would be that I mean, when I left school, I left. I didn't have any GCSEs or any education really, because I just kind of didn't like school. Well, actually, I just didn't like people telling me what to do. That's the long and short of it. And when I used to work, I did a few different things. Some I enjoyed, some I didn't. But I decided that I wanted to do something of my own, and I kind of went, online and started working and stuff. And generally speaking, now, I've got a good business. It's doing well. It's growing. But I'll be up every day between 6:30 and 7 a.m. and I'll be online. And I'll stay online till 5 or 6 in the evening, and that's Monday to Friday, flat straight. And if I eat lunch, I'm in front of my computer. I work hard and I play hard and I exercise. I go for a walk and I do a bit of exercising and I eat healthy in the day. But generally speaking, to run a business that you want to succeed, you got to put in the effort and you got to put in a lot of hours. Because if you don't, you're going to get eaten up by the competition. You know,
Sure.
and it's just the way you got to do it. And a lot of people ask me a lot of times, how long do you work and stuff, and I schedule my life now. Like I've got the Google Chrome. I use like the calendar extension there, so I can sort of remind myself, like I did today, of your interview. It pops up and it's like,
Yep.
hey, you got your interview today. I like to schedule my life. I like to be always one step ahead of the crowd, I guess you would say. In regards to finding the niche market, which is kind of what I did with CPA Leads, because I saw a gap and I pounced on it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it seems like you got a good thing going here. I mean, the
Yeah,
forum is just pretty much off the hook here.
yeah. Thanks. It's,
I'm
it's
trying to
it's got
think.
good content, it's good content. It's helpful information. It teaches people. What I like about CPA Elites is the fact that if you're a guy that doesn't know anything about making money online, you join my forum. Well, you can pretty much just find the help desk and ask questions, or you can go and check out the online journeys, whereby you see all the other guys sharing their online journeys making money with CPA. Like this guy here, journey with share cash, etc. And then if you want a bit of inspiration because you just spent the last 4 hours before you hit my forum getting really annoyed at all of these crappy ebooks out there, well, you might just bump into the Elites bragging section and see somebody saying how they just made $10,000 last month.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So you've
awesome.
got a bit of inspiration sort of thing along with everything. And I quite like that. I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's plenty here. I like here how you have like the kind of the VIP upgrade. How many, if you don't mind sharing, like how many members have gone for the VIP?
Oh, quite a lot. We've got quite a lot of members, but not as much as I think most people think. One thing I've noticed is since starting the forum, there's probably about two or three other competing forums that have started up. I think a lot of these guys start up these forums through the woodworks because they look at something and they think that there's more money in it than when there's not. And the problem that most of them will face is that if there's more than one of you that owns a forum, where in my case it's just myself, you're going to stumble because forums don't make as much money as most of these guys think. I think that, I mean, there's probably about one or two forums that have literally just completely ripped. Well, I'd say ripped, it's not ripping, but pretty much copied the forum. But that's the way the internet works. When I started this forum up, even going back about 4 or 5 months ago at the time, I didn't think along those lines. I guess I saw them and I got a little bit annoyed by it. But now I realise that that's the way the world works. You know, I mean, I'm not being funny, but if you look around, the likes of Facebook and stuff like that, there's a lot of discrepancies there, with the way that they worked and, copying and stuff like that. And, it's kind of like, well, that's just the way it is. And now I look at things like if I see a forum starting up and it's kind of copying CPA Elites, it doesn't really bother me because Elites are so original and unique anyway, and it's already ahead because it's got so many members and stuff. But yeah, go back to your question on the VIP. Sorry, yeah, quite a lot. We've got a lot of VIPs in the forum. The reason for that is because I mean I've spent a heck of a lot of time adding the content. I mean, if you check out the Legends Best Kept Secrets as an example, I mean, if you go there now, let's see. In that section alone, when you click into it, you'll notice at the top you've got important threads. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You got like 12 there, which are all mine, which are like extensive video courses that pretty much spoon feed people with all the experience that I know. But it's not about the VIP because I mean, for me, generally speaking, it's all about the forum. Because if it is about just me converting people into VIP and making money, believe me, to start with, I have probably approximately about 3 or 4 brand new PPD networks that message me every day asking to advertise my forum, and I've got a strict criteria. I only
Um,
allow I only allow networks and businesses that are older than 1 year, and they must pass like an approval process, which basically means that I will go out on Google and I will make sure they've got no bad things against them. Because if they have, forget it. I won't let them do it because it's all about my community at the end of the day for me. And if it's about the money, there would be banners plastered all over the left and the right hand side. And believe me, the VIP would be straight up at the top above the information. But I like to keep things on an even keel. I like to keep it organized, and I like to make it so it's not too spammy. And I
yep.
like to make sure that the useful information, the free information, is found at the top, which is where the newbies will be able to find it. And you know what? If they want to upgrade, they can. If they don't need to. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Because either way, I'm going to be all right. You know.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it seems like you really have everything together here. I like how there's. It looks like there's plenty of information to
Yeah,
just learn
definitely.
about all kinds of different things here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's got a bit of everything that you need on there. You know. I mean, what I like about it is that if you've got a problem, you can just go and get help for that problem instantly. I mean, you got over 30,000 people that you can go and ask a question to in the Elite's help desk, and it's a nice active section in there because obviously because of that, a lot of people need help, so they'll go and ask the questions and, they get that help. I mean, like this guy here, he's got, 2 pages, 13 replies on there, and I think he only posted that like a day ago. You
Yeah,
know,
I see. There's like a whole. You have a sub like tutorial section. There's just all kinds of information here.
yeah, you got the other tutorials and shares and stuff like that. I mean, it's just like a lot of niches, whether it be incentive or non-incentive. It's awesome. And I absolutely love it. I love the forum. I mean, I think it's just a really good, unique forum, and I spend so much time on it in the day. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I kind of
Awesome.
like live, eat, sleep it.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I'm sure there's just a lot here. I know I interviewed. I don't know if you're familiar with him. There's a guy by the name of Steve Cam. He runs a blog called Nerd Fitness,
I
and
think I've heard of that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's got a huge forum, and I interviewed him as well. But talks pretty much focused on the forum idea, and I wrote a pretty long article about it, and it was
Awesome.
just interesting, how he was able to get this started. And I can see, I mean, this kind of industry, there's plenty of people that are interested in
Oh,
talking about
absolutely. Yeah,
this stuff.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, running the forum's a tough gig. I mean, I'm certainly no expert. I'm always learning. I'm always kind of like looking into sort of PHP programming, and I'm looking into like MySQL database stuff. But also, I've got someone that holds me by the hand with it that I pay. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with forums. There's a lot of risk, in regards to sort of plugins. You need to keep them updated. You need to upgrade the forum. You need to know how to diversify the traffic, and you need to put in a lot of security as well. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the community. If you got somebody join up with your forum, it's your responsibility to make sure they have a good ride. There's people that I have to ban, and my staff have to ban. And you know what? Along the way, in some cases, I've even unbanned somebody because mistakes are made. But there's a lot of stress when you're running a forum because if you ban somebody that's popular, believe me, you hear about it from your community, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if somebody's got an issue now, though, they have to contact me about it. And you know, I mean, to put things into perspective, I mean, on every morning I wake up and I come on to CPA Leads. To put things into perspective, I'm probably looking at between sort of like 20 to sort of, in some worst case scenarios, 70 private messages, you know, that I have to go through. And deal with different issues, whether it be manually posting, giving that person an awards, or whether it be somebody that's got a problem.
Yep.
There's just so much things that go into it, but I love it. You know, I like it. It's cool. It's my gig, right? It's just what I like doing it. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I left school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do even when I was in the jobs that I liked the most. And it's only really, I mean, I'm 33 years old now. And it was only really up until last year when I started the forum up and it started exploding and I was getting into it that I realised what I wanted to do in life, which is, you know, quite late, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's tons to learn on this stuff, and there's always new things kind of revolving, and in
Oh,
terms
yeah.
of, you know, like you talked, YouTube and Facebook changing, Google
Yeah,
changing.
definitely. But it's good because, I mean, on the forum you get anything that's new, anything that's like, you know, popular, that's like rising up and is meant to be like, you know, the next big thing of getting traffic. You know, it always comes out on CPA Leads. It's basically there for people to learn off of and discuss. And I like just being in the background, just like, you know, checking these types of things out and just following people's journeys and stuff like that. I mean, it's so interesting. I absolutely love it. Just being able to sort of like see somebody come to my forum. I mean, there's one guy, I won't say his name because I know he likes to stay a bit anonymous, but he basically started up on CPA Leads, and I remember his first thread I read, it was basically asking questions to do with an SEO software, and I'm pretty sure because he was VIP that he actually used my course. That's not to say that he made money through that, because I actually found out later on that he told me that he used manual SEO anyway. But to put things into perspective, like he basically went from chump to champ because he was making nothing, or was making a little bit. And the guy, I think he now makes between $10,000 to $15,000. And if you actually look around in the bragging section on my forum, you'll see some of his threads. But again, I don't really want to disclose
Yeah.
his name publicly, obviously, because he likes to be anonymous. But that just goes to show, you know, you know, you might not know anything about anything, but you can start making a lot of money.
Right. I mean, you're basically helping people with their success.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, it's not all about me or the forum. I mean, in some cases, like the forum just, you know, pushes them into the right places, I guess you would say, and offers them a helping hand. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's down to them. I think it'd be a bit big-headed to say that we help every single user on the forum, but you know, there's a lot of success stories, and there's a lot of users that are very happy and, you know, very grateful. You know, I've had a lot of people thank me in messages personally, thank me, you know, saying thank you so much for the forum. It's helped me. I'm now earning good money and stuff, and you know, that stuff to me is fantastic. I love reading that stuff. It's just really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but forum, running a forum again, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, I've made my mistakes. I'll put my hands up. You know, there might have been times where I've overreacted and stuff, and I look back now and I think, did I handle that situation as well as I shouldn't have? I think there's only one of those scenarios that happened that I didn't handle it probably how I should have, but it depends how you look at it, because it's my business and everyone's got an opinion. You know, some
Sure.
people said I didn't, some people said I did, and I'm actually talking about something in regards to, there's like a competing forum and a bunch of people started being staff members on there, and at the time a couple of them I gave them free VIP access. You know, I show, you know, sometimes if you show somebody a hand, they'll try and take your arm, right?
Mm.
You know, and yeah, it's difficult, but I'm learning. I've learned. I'm growing day to day. I think I'm a good admin. I mean, if you look around on my forum, you'll see nothing but good love for me on there. You know, because they all know that I'm out there. I'm out to look after them. I mean, there's even been cases where people have been scammed before, and I've paid them back. I've banned the guy that was scamming, and I've paid the person back. I said, yeah,
Wow.
here you go, it's $20, you take it, buddy. There's instances of that that's happened before, and yeah, I mean, it's all about a community.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, I think we've talked about plenty. I figured we could
Yeah,
wrap things up here.
excellent.
I know you said you had to run in a few anyways.
Yeah, I got some deliveries coming along and stuff like that. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. If you want to stay on for a minute, I can leave the audio going, but end the interview.
Okay,
Um, but yeah, I hope for everyone here, check out the forum name is cpaelites.com, and there's tons of information here, lots going on, tons and tons of members. So definitely be worth checking out if you're interested in learning more about CPA marketing.
thanks a lot. I appreciate that.